Hi, welcome back to Schamberger Labs. I'm Rob Schamberger, as you can tell by the title. And this week, while working on my massive months-long painting of Charlotte Flair, which I'm really excited where I'm at on this. I'm finishing the background finally this week and beginning work on her figure and getting ready to do that insane robe. I might even finish by next week. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But I'm excited for that. And while I'm working on this, I thought it would be fun to do a Q&A. I put a call out on Twitter. Unfortunately, didn't get that many responses. I don't know, either the algorithm or people just know everything about me now or don't care to know anymore. I don't know. So I thought it'd be fun to pull up a list of the best questions to ask on a first date and answer those. Seems like that'd be a fun way to do this instead. And we'll be able to pretty quickly tell why I was not good at dating. I pretty much found someone who also thought I was attractive and I married her. So, number one, you seem great, so why are you still single? Man, I never asked that one. So thanks for thinking that I seem great. Obviously, married, been with Katie for 15, 16 years. She gives me a hard time that I can't remember exactly, but it still feels real short. It's like really flown by. I feel like I was in high school longer than I've been with her. So I just don't keep track of it exactly. You know, it's not like a prison sentence or anything. It's nice being with her. Number two, what dating apps are you on? None. I'm not on any. These questions seem terrible. Katie and I actually met through Match.com. Shout out, we never got our commercial, although I would say we're one of their greatest success stories. Our love and marriage has taken us coast to coast, north to south. We got together before apps were a thing. I remember Katie's first phone where you could do anything internet related on was a second generation BlackBerry. So not much. You couldn't do much, and no websites were optimized for mobile or anything. I would be terrified to do the app thing now, personally. I need to keep Katie happy so that I never have to go back to dating. Number three, you're not crazy, are you? What are these questions? I am actually, I guess, diagnosed with two disorders. Reactive attachment disorder, which is professionally referred to as RAD, and post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm not going to get into why. I'm working on them in therapy. Take a drink, I mentioned therapy. I don't feel like that would be a good question for a first date, but I guess it's good to get it out of the way, right? Know up front what you're dealing with. I guess I've really diminished my chances if I ever had to go back out into the dating world by putting that out there. I mean, it's not like artists get into being artists because they're super happy with everything. Conan O'Brien has the joke that if his dad had ever once said, "I'm proud of you and I love you," that he'd be happily working somewhere as an accountant. I get that one. Question number 4. Where do you see this relationship going? Between you and me? Again, I think maybe next week is the season 1 finale before I figure out what I'm painting next. And hopefully I get to keep making art that I want to make and that you want to look at. And ideally, sometimes you might even buy some of it. I guess that's where I see it going. Question number 5. How much did that cost? Man, like, has dating changed a lot since I was out on the field? Again, I wasn't good at it too. So I'm guessing that's like if you see someone like a nice jacket or purse or shoes or whatever, trying to get a feel of where their finances are at, I guess. That seems pretty invasive. No one has ever asked me that because I am not an ostentatious dresser at all. I've been asked that once. I had a really nice suit that my father-in-law correctly guessed how much I had spent on it. But yeah, I'm not flashy at all with that. I think it goes back to the rad that I have, that I try to disappear in a crowd and not be noticed at all. The way that I try to come through is with the art that I make. Question number 6. Are you seeing anyone else? Again, logically, seems like a good question to get out of the way up front, but doesn't seem like it's really setting the mood for like establishing trust and the like. And no, I'm not seeing anyone else. Very happily married, and beyond my personal romantic life, like professionally, I do take clients here and there outside of WWE. I recently did those beer can labels for El Segundo Brewing Company and Ogopogo. It was a collaboration they did. And have done another project with El Segundo, but like within the wrestling world, at this time, I'm faithful to WWE. I'm of the mind that you dance with the one that brought you to the party. It's not a knock on anyone else. It's just how I like to operate. And if someday my dancing card changes, whoever my new dancing partner would be will know that I'm going to have that same level of loyalty to them. And to all of you, to the people that support the art, that I'm staying loyal to you as well, I guess. Number 7, do you like my outfit? Boy, that's definitely one where I don't feel like I would ask that or answer that on a first date. And like living with Katie, being in a committed relationship with her, and as long as we've been together, there are times where like I feel like I would be doing her a disservice if I felt like the outfit was not the way that I phrase it, doing her any favors. Sometimes just the cut of a thing doesn't drape on you the way that it looks like it does on the model online, or even when you try it out. You're not seeing it from every angle. So there have been times where I'll let her know that, but that's definitely like years into the relationship and not a first date thing. Funny story, on Katie and I's first date, she called me to let me know that she was going to be, I think, like half an hour to an hour late because she was getting her hair done. She had mixed up that she had said yes to this date when she had a hair appointment. If you know Katie at all, the hair appointment's a pretty important thing. And I didn't really know that yet, right? Like, we'd only been emailing through our connection on Match.com, and gotta say it like that, Match.com. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to completely change my outfit and do something fancy. Like she went to get her hair done for this date, not knowing she had, scheduled it like months in advance. And so she showed up in somewhat casual outfit, for her. And I was dressed all fancy, and then she felt out of place. But it was just through a funny mix-up that kind of let us get to know each other better than I think these questions are letting people get to know each other. Question number 8: do you want to have kids on a first date? As far as Katie and I, we've decided to go childless. It's a lot of factors that go into it, and it's just a decision we made back before the government was deciding what your family was going to be for you. Question number 9: what are your deal breakers? As I said, I'm a bit of a nut, so I've got quite a few. Respect is a big one. Safety is an issue. Bluntly, political leanings are a lot. Religious things. I don't know, back when I was on the dating field, I felt like you weren't supposed to ask any of this stuff. Let's see. Number 10, how's your relationship with your parents? How long do you have? Dad and I haven't talked in years by his decision, although if you ask him, he says it was me. Mom and I are pretty good. She watches these videos, so wink, we're really good, Mom. We are. We just got together last week for, it's one of my cats hunting. Got together for the birthday. And we communicate fairly often, live pretty close to each other. Don't get together as often as we used to just because of COVID stuff and schedule stuff, but we used to get together for lunch at least once a month. Mom, we should get back on that. It's been a while since we've done that. Okay. Number 11. What are you? Wow. You know what, guys? I am reading that this is actually the questions to never ask on a first date. I'm sorry about that. Never ask that one. Oh boy, I can see how that could go really wrong in a lot of different ways. Oh boy. But I guess we're just going to keep with this, right? I like to finish things. So, question number 12. What do you want to do tonight? It does seem like you should have a bit of a plan. Although I can tell you, Katie and I's first date, we had just made the plan for dinner as a local restaurant that there's, I think, still some of them in the area called Houlihan's. Most of them closed down because of the pandemic. The one we went to is gone. And we were there, and it was pretty obvious that the servers were kind of done with us. I wasn't going to order a bunch of drinks. She was too nervous to drink, I think, on the first date. So actually what we ended up doing, because I was like, hey, I want to hang out a little bit longer, but I think, the server wants to get us out of here. And I was like, there's a bookstore right up this strip mall that we're in. Do you want to go hang out there and, get a coffee or something? And she did, and we did. And that bookstore is no longer around anymore either. It was a Borders. But when that was shutting down, I actually went and I bought one of the bookshelves that they had there. When we last moved, it was too big of a shelf for the house that we're in. Like, I don't think it would have even fit through a door. I would have had to actually tear it apart to get it out of the apartment, because I had to tear it apart and reassemble it to get it into our old place. So instead I saved one of the actual shelves from it that has like a sale price on it, and just so that we have like something physically from our first date. But yeah, you should definitely have better plans for our first date. Number 13, do you drink a lot? Because I do. Not anymore. I've got a obsessive personality, and so I did used to have like a pretty bad drinking problem, just being honest about it. And it was with hard liquor. Like, I would start drinking, and then there'd be like I would black out, and that doesn't mean pass out. That means I would have like no memory whatsoever of like several hours from the night before. And it would always be a case of like me having to call the friends I was with and asking like, who do I have to apologize to? What did I do this time? And I would try going like completely like drink nothing. And occasionally I would, slip up here and there. And then I had read up on obsessive compulsive behavior and learned that that was actually factoring into what I was doing. So like, if you would put a bottle of vodka in front of me and give me, a drink from that, I would have to finish that bottle. But like, I can just drink a beer. I don't have to drink all the beers in the fridge. I don't have to drink, like all the ones that were in like the case of beer. I can just have one. Now I do have to like finish that beer. But then I tried to find more positive outlets for that behavior. It's also a reason why I don't gamble. And with the drinking thing, like, I have a really high tolerance. So when I said I had to drink the whole bottle, I would drink the whole bottle. It was not good, and it wasn't sustainable. So instead, like, I put the behavior towards making art and building up my business. And I would say there's still negative aspects to it. Like, maybe for a long time before I started therapy, I would use workaholism to mask dealing with PTSD, as well as using it as a cover for why I didn't want to go out and be around people. I would just always say like, well, I've got work, or I'm working on this painting. Question 14. Why did your last relationship end? I am glad we figured out that these are the worst questions to ask. Why did my last relationship end? I was with a lovely gal that, as far as I know, has gone on to be very successful in her life. And I hope the absolute best for her and her family. We just weren't the right people for each other. We were too young, too emotionally illiterate to be good partners for one another. I really don't feel that there was like one person at fault. It was definitely like we were just not the right people for each other. I don't stalk her or anything. I don't know where she's at in her life. I know last I checked, she owned a chiropractic business, and I hope that's still going great for her. Number 15. What are you looking for in a relationship? To keep being married, I guess. Like, Katie and I established that real early on. That might have actually been a question we had on our first date or in the match emails before the date. Um, I'm of the mind that there's common values for two people to share, and then otherwise, like, you don't get with someone because you want to change them. You're there to support them. So, like, if I want to change something about myself, Katie will support me on it, vice versa. And also, there's things that one of us enjoys doing, but the other one doesn't. We don't have to force ourselves to do that thing together. Like, you know, we love and respect one another enough to allow the other to do that independently. And you know, it's two individuals together, and so far it's working out pretty good for us. 16. How many people have you slept with? Next question. Not more than 5. Okay, question 17. Do you own your house? Nope, we rent. That's we had to move real fast when we our last building that we lived in was purchased, and they evicted all the tenants, and it wasn't like the best time of year to move, and so we and also, like, my studio was in that building too, like in a separate unit. So the real estate market had radically changed since we had moved into that building 10 years earlier, and it was not realistic to have both a living space and a working space separate. And so we made the decision to do a house, which was a little bit less than what we were spending on both of those. And it was the right decision at that time. We're always open to re-examining that. We don't have kids, so like a lot of the reasoning to like actually buy a house just doesn't apply to us. 18. What's your favorite sex position? The one where you have sex, I guess. I ain't answering that on here. 19. Do you always eat or drink this much? As I said earlier, no. I used to quite a bit more. As far as eating, you know, I wish I had a little bit better portion control over myself. I make the decision, unfortunately, several times to go for, you know, 1 or 2 bites more than I should. And at my age, that's catching up to me. But not too much either. And, you know, everything happening in the world, if I want another bite of some good pasta or a burrito or something, I'm going to do that. Number 20. Tell me about yourself. I have been talking to you nonstop for 23 minutes now. And I guess, you know what? You're going to hear me type a little bit here. I'm going to look up best questions to ask during a first date. We've got a little bit of time left as I'm working on this Charlotte piece. As you can see, I'm in working on the actual figure now. I've been a little worried that I wasn't going to make the figure stand out from the background too much, but there's very little green in the background. So especially once I get in with her gear and with the robe, I think it's going to really pop out. Plus the flesh tone, some of those colors are used in the fireworks, a little bit in the ramp, but that creates some cohesiveness as well to make it an overall stronger composition. So, best questions to ask on a first date, which is what I thought I was Googling. Number 1, what makes you unique? Well, every individual is unique. We all experience the world in ways and contexts that are solely our own. And the way that we continue to experience the world, the choices we make are informed by everything that we did up to this point and will continue to evolve that way. So what makes me unique? Being alive and cognizant, I guess. Yeah, I was not good at dating. Number 2, what are some random fun facts about you? I like cats. I read a lot of comic books. I have written and drawn some comic books that have been published. And also, I am the WWE artist in residence, and people around the world collect my art. In 2019, I was the most visible artist on the face of the earth. Pretty random and fun. Question number 3. What's something you want to learn? God, can you imagine if I actually said that on a first date? Like, I'm sure my date would be like, this dude is full of himself. I am. Question number 3. What's something you want to learn or wish you were better at? Dating. Not really. I'm happily married. I want to learn more about gardening. I've just enjoyed doing it, but I think I'm going to start nerding out on it. And then when it gets cooler, brewing my own beer. I did one batch last year, and it turned out pretty okay. And I would like to learn more about that. Question number 4. Would you rather... it says here, would you rather questions are a good go-to, especially on a first date. Like, would you rather go to the beach or the mountains? That kind of thing. Yeah, that's not really specific and doesn't work for this bit I'm trying to do here. Number 5, know any good jokes? Ones that I can tell on YouTube that would not make people have terrible opinions of me afterwards. No, I don't. Not that are coming to me immediately, and they're, other people's jokes, not something that I've really come up with on my own. As you can tell by Twitter, I'm not very funny. Question number 6. What's something that bugs you? Twitter. Twitter bugs me. Something that bugs me. I wonder why we drive on parkways and park on driveways. Why do we call it an elevator if it also goes down? Those things bug me. Time travel in science fiction bugs me because everything from our current understanding of the universe, like galaxies are hurtling through space. Our sun is moving, circling through the galaxy. Our planet is orbiting the sun. So to travel through time, you would also have to travel through extensive spaces. And so it's not just time travel, it's also teleportation. Teleportation, especially in Star Trek, it's actually a completely atomically destroying a body and then reforming it somewhere else. Why do you need to do the destruction part? Can't you just duplicate and send that other like Captain Kirk somewhere else? Again, I was terrible at dating. Number 7. What's the most embarrassing thing you can remember that's happened to you? That I would be willing to tell on a first date or here on YouTube? Most embarrassing, I know what that is, and I'm not going to say it, but because it was also like kind of traumatizing. But one that I can think of, like in junior high, it was in the winter time, and I sneezed and put my hands up to catch it. I was in the middle of class, and like my hands were full of what I had just sneezed up. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And I just like stay like bent forward because like it had like splashed back on my face, and like trying to like clean that off so that I can like get up to excuse myself to go to the bathroom, which was mortifying enough in junior high. But then two of the cheerleaders that were sitting next to me bent forward and were just staring at me while I'm trying to no-sell this thing. I went on to be very friendly with both of those gals. They were lovely human beings, but in junior high, we're all jerks. Number 8, what's your favorite place on earth? Other than home with Katie and the cats, man, the Grand Hyatt in Kauai, Hawaii. We went there back in January, and it blew my mind. Just most beautiful place on the face of the earth. My entire body felt better, like the quality of the air, being surrounded by the ocean, being able to do a short, brisk hike up this hill to be out on the cliffs to watch the sunrise, watching the sunset on the other side of the island, the music, the just everything about it was just ideal and wonderful. And I sat there out on this terrace in the fresh, wide open air, and made some personal like landscape and nature drawings and illustrations. It was just a pretty much perfect day. Perfect week. We were there for a week. Number 9, who are the special people in your life? Obviously Katie, the cats, my very close friends. Care about them a lot. The family that we surround ourselves with and the ones that we make, the circles that we have and operate within, the people we love and that love us back. I don't want to say too many people, because then I feel like I'd be inadvertently or intentionally leaving people out, and that would hurt them, and that's not good. Finally, what's something you're proud of? The body of work I've created, the art that I've made, I'm really proud of it. I think that there's an arc of growth that you can see and continue to see. You can see it with this painting I've been working on, with the other paintings that I put out every week with WWE, and the connection to all of you through the art is amazing. There's people that like it means a lot to, and to be able to be there and do that for them is exceptional. And this long and wonderful relationship I've got with my wife, dang proud of that. It's something that we work hard on. We don't take it for granted, and we continue to improve all the time. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. And yeah, I'm kind of feeling maybe next week I'm finishing this thing up. That's pretty exciting. And in the meantime, you can subscribe to my newsletter, robschamberger.substack.com. There's an awesome free version, even more awesome paid version. You can get things like, win an original painting just for answering a question. Also, you can get the artwork, both the original paintings and prints, at schambergerlabs.com. You can hang out with me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob Schamberger. And please, just like Roman Reigns, smash the like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Thank you, and I love you. Bye.